What if the biggest force shaping your life isn't a major decision, a dramatic breakthrough, or a single lucky opportunity, but something so small you barely notice it? Think about your day so far. The time you woke up. What you chose to eat. Whether you checked your phone immediately or sat quietly for a few minutes. Whether you focused on one important task or reacted to whatever demanded your attention first. Individually, these choices seem insignificant. But what if these tiny decisions are quietly building your future, either in your favor or against you? Today, we're exploring the core ideas from The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, a book built on one powerful principle: small, consistent actions, repeated over time, create extraordinary results. This is not a book about shortcuts. It's not about overnight success. It's about understanding how progress really works, and how you can use that understanding to change your life in practical, realistic ways. Let's begin with the central idea. The compound effect is the principle that small, smart choices, when repeated consistently, produce massive outcomes over time. You already understand this principle in money. If you invest a small amount regularly and earn interest, that interest begins earning interest too. Over time, growth accelerates. But the same principle applies to habits, skills, health, relationships, and income. Imagine 3 people starting at the same point in life. The first person makes a small positive change, reading 10 pages a day, walking 20 minutes daily, saving a modest amount of money every week. The second person changes nothing. The third person makes small negative choices, extra junk food daily, unnecessary spending, a bit less effort at work. For the first few months, there is almost no visible difference between them. That's the dangerous part. Because when we don't see immediate results, we assume nothing is happening. But below the surface, accumulation is taking place. After a year, the first person has read over a dozen books. They've improved their health. They've saved a meaningful amount of money. The third person has gained weight, accumulated debt, and fallen behind in skills. The difference wasn't dramatic decisions. It was small, repeated ones. This is the compound effect in action. Now here's something important: the compound effect works whether you believe in it or not. It's neutral. It will compound healthy habits or unhealthy ones. Discipline or neglect. Growth or stagnation. Which means the real question is not whether compounding is happening in your life. The question is, in which direction? The next major idea in the book is personal responsibility. It's easy to blame circumstances, the economy, your upbringing, difficult people, bad luck. And yes, circumstances matter. But Hardy's argument is that your choices within those circumstances matter even more. Every result you currently have can be traced back to patterns of decisions. Not one decision, patterns. This realization is not meant to create guilt. It's meant to create control. Because if results come from repeated choices, then new results can come from new repeated choices. Let's take a simple example. Imagine someone who says, "I want to be financially secure." But every month, they spend slightly more than they earn. Nothing extreme. Just small overspending, eating out a little too often, upgrading things unnecessarily, ignoring small subscriptions. Each decision feels harmless. But over years, debt accumulates. Now imagine the same person deciding to track every expense for 30 days. They don't even change anything yet. They simply observe. Awareness alone begins to shift behavior. When you see where your money goes, your decisions become more conscious. This is why tracking is so powerful. Most people live on autopilot. They eat automatically, spend automatically, react automatically. The compound effect thrives in autopilot mode, especially when habits are misaligned with long-term goals. So the first practical step is awareness. Pick one area of your life, time, money, health, and track it for 1 week. No judgment. Just data. Because clarity precedes change. Now let's talk about habits. Habits are repeated behaviors that have become automatic. You don't think about brushing your teeth. You don't debate whether to check your phone. You don't consciously decide every tiny action in your routine. Habits remove the need for decision-making. And that's powerful. Because once something becomes a habit, it compounds without effort. The challenge is that many of our habits were formed unintentionally. They were shaped by environment, convenience, stress, or imitation. If someone wants to get healthier but has built a routine around late-night snacking and no physical activity, intention alone won't solve the problem. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So instead of focusing only on big goals, focus on redesigning systems. Let's say every afternoon at 4 p.m., you feel low energy and grab something sugary. Instead of trying to eliminate the break entirely, you keep the timing, but change the behavior. At 4 p.m., you drink water and take a 5-minute walk. The cue stays the same. The routine shifts. Repeat this daily, and the new behavior becomes automatic. Small substitution. Massive long-term difference. Another key idea in the book is momentum. At the beginning of any change, effort feels heavy. You don't see results yet. Motivation fluctuates. But once you've been consistent long enough, momentum builds. Imagine pushing a heavy flywheel. At first, it barely moves. You push again. Still slow. But with repeated effort, it begins to turn more easily. Eventually, it spins with less effort than it took to start. That's momentum. In personal growth, the same pattern happens. If you exercise 3 times per week for a month, your energy improves. With more energy, you make better food choices. With better health, your confidence increases. With higher confidence, your work improves. Success in one area spills into others. Momentum compounds results. But the opposite is also true. Skip one workout. Then another. Then another. Small neglect compounds into inertia. That's why protecting momentum is critical. In the early stages, don't focus on intensity. Focus on consistency. A 20-minute workout done regularly beats a 2-hour workout done once. 10 pages a day beats 50 pages once a week. Your average days shape your future far more than your peak days. Now let's examine influence. You are constantly influenced by what you consume and who you surround yourself with. Media, conversations, social networks, all of it shapes your thinking. If you consume negativity daily, your mindset shifts subtly over time. If you spend hours each day on content that doesn't educate or inspire you, that lost time compounds. Imagine reducing random media consumption by 30 minutes daily and replacing it with skill development. Over a year, that's more than 180 hours invested in growth. That's the equivalent of multiple professional courses. Similarly, the people around you affect your standards. If you spend time with people who complain, avoid responsibility, and resist growth, that energy becomes normal. If you spend time with people who read, learn, improve, and take ownership, your expectations shift upward. You don't need to abandon everyone in your life. But you do need to be intentional. Upgrade one influence. Replace one podcast with something educational. Schedule one conversation with someone who challenges you positively. Small adjustments. Compounded impact. Another important concept is exceeding expectations. Most people aim to do what's required. But compounding favors those who consistently do slightly more. Not dramatically more. Slightly more. If you respond to emails promptly while others delay, trust builds. If you prepare slightly better than expected, your reputation strengthens. If you follow up thoughtfully, people remember you. Over time, this small margin of extra effort separates you from the average. And here's the important part: you don't need talent beyond others. You need consistency beyond others. Because consistency builds credibility. Credibility builds opportunity. Opportunity builds success. One overlooked idea in the book is patience. The compound effect requires time. In the early phase, results are invisible. This is where most people quit. They start saving money but see little growth. They start exercising but see minimal change. They start learning but feel no immediate advantage. So they stop. But compounding requires persistence through the invisible phase. Think of planting a seed. For weeks, nothing appears above the soil. But underground, roots are forming. If you dig up the seed every few days to check progress, you destroy it. Progress often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. So here's a practical principle. Commit to a habit long enough to allow compounding to take effect. Set a minimum 30-day rule for any positive habit. No evaluation until the period ends. Just execution. Tracking supports this process. What gets measured improves. If you track workouts, you're more likely to complete them. If you track spending, you're more aware of waste. If you track reading, you maintain consistency. Tracking isn't about pressure. It's about feedback. When you see progress visually, a calendar filled with check marks, motivation increases. Momentum strengthens. Let's bring these ideas together into a simple framework. First, decide your direction. Where do you want compounding to work in your favor? Health? Income? Knowledge? Relationships? Clarity prevents scattered effort. Second, choose one keystone habit. A keystone habit is a small action that positively influences other behaviors. Daily exercise often improves sleep and nutrition. Daily reading improves thinking and communication. Choose one habit small enough to sustain, but meaningful enough to matter. Third, protect consistency. Lower the barrier to action. If your goal is reading, keep a book visible. If your goal is exercising, prepare clothes in advance. Reduce friction. Finally, track progress. Not obsessively. Simply and consistently. Remember, you don't need dramatic transformation. You need steady alignment. Because the compound effect doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for repetition. Let me leave you with a reflection. 5 years from now, your life will reflect the accumulation of today's routines. Not today's ambitions. Not today's wishes. Today's routines. So ask yourself, what small action, repeated daily, would make you proud 5 years from now? And what small action, if continued, would lead somewhere you don't want to go? The power is not in massive change. It's in tiny, intentional decisions made consistently. Start small. Stay consistent. Allow time to do its work. That is the compound effect.